even for me, even the things that I do say, you know, people come after me and they say to me, like, why are you talking about this? Why do you have to do that? Who sent you? And that's another thing that's actually very, very annoying. And he had it too, where because you're speaking about something that you've experienced or something that you know to be true, people are like, well, who sent you? You must be undercover. You must be doing something. You're a plant, you're this and the other. No, it's not. A lot of these issues are things that we need to speak about in order for us to get better, in order for things to be broken down. And it's a painful experience to go through, but we have to go through it if we really want to be able to open our gates to for people to come into Africa. Then we have to there's got to be compromise on both sides, right? We can't expect people to come in and be a part of the culture and embrace the culture when we're making it difficult for them at the same time. We're giving them frustrations.
Okay, so again, this is more to Della. Her video about me, she reacted to my channel. It's called O'Shea Has Had Enough of African Telling All. So this is a lady I met online. She's been in Ghana for years. She's Ghanaian British. And she's talking about the pressures that Africans have in the culture. Me as a Black American, you guys know I'm a very direct creator. I do business very direct. I don't really hold a lot of punches. So it's easier for me to call out what I'm seeing because that's how I was raised. Many of you guys were kind of raised in the same way. We come from a background of tell it like it is, right? We are very frank and up forward and straightforward people. Probably top 5 in the world. Now, if you're a Ghanaian British or a Ghanaian American, they punish you for saying these things about what's going on in Africa. You know, there's a lot of passive aggressiveness going on. So a lot of people don't understand that even for somebody like her, if she comes out and say it like it is, she can't. And a lot of Africans that go back to Africa and experience what I'm saying, they can't come out and be direct like me, right? And she's trying to prove that. Now, people in her comment sections dragging me and all that. But yeah, she gets called an agent too. She gets called all this too for just telling the truth.
Giving them frustrations, people are losing money. I dread to think, if we were to be able to calculate how much money people have lost within scams, whether it's land scam, whatever kind of scam it is, how much money that really is. There are people that have moved to Africa, lost their savings through scams and have just gone back and there's been nothing happened. He in particular broke down an experience where he had a laptop stolen from his house. And he called the police and then he had to bring the police to his house. You know, you have to pay for these things. And I know that to be true because it happened to me in Ghana. I've been robbed in Ghana before. This was many years ago. And we called the police and the police were like, well, you know, if you want us to come there, you have to give us fuel money first.
Yeah, I remember that when she was still married. The vlog was on her channel. Yeah, exactly. You guys think that somebody's lying about this? Like, no. And then they brought this stinking ass dog all in my house. Didn't even wash his ass. Then we had to get the stank ass dog. I had to drive them back to the police station because they didn't have a car. Dog stunk up my whole damn car.
So like, okay. And then I remember being advised, like, someone just said, just leave it because nothing is going to happen. So it's like for every level that you want to climb, you're going to have to pay a bit of extra money. So you pay for them to come out in the first instance, right? And then they said that you're also going to have to pay for forensics. So someone who will come and look for fingerprints, you're going to have to pay that person too. Then you're going to have to pay them to do their job. And then you have to make sure there's fuel for them to go back. And if you want them to investigate, you have to make sure that you continue to drip money. It's by the time you've done all those things, it's like, it's just not worth it. Your time, your money, your resources, it's just not worth it. You get frustrated. So then there's no repercussion for anybody. So that a lot of the time, people just leave these things.
Yes, but it's not me. I had a guy that did that to me. He about to lose his damn job and his whole career. He about to be down bad, homeless. I'm working on him right now. And I'm going to tell you like this. You guys playing with me with these sorts of things. If you do this to me, I'm going to ruin you. Flat out. Okay? If you play with me like y'all do that, because see, I'm willing to pass away over mines, all right? Nobody is here to be scared or to be intimidated because that's what they want. If you a Black American person, you got to stand up for yourself. Do not let Africans or anybody else intimidate you, silence you. No. Just because you come to Africa don't mean you got to be treated unfairly. Hell no. If we got to throw these hands, we're going to throw these hands. whatever it's gonna be. But I am not a victim. I'm not coming here to be a victim, and you will not victimize me. And if you work for an international corporation, and I'm gonna give you a tip, if they work for any corporation, even if it's international, not even American based, all of them have whistleblower hotlines. Save all your evidence, tell on them, get them fired. Okay, get them fired, ruin them. These guys got to understand that if you don't play fair, we're gonna play fair for you. Don't worry about it. Because once we learn how to be dirty with y'all, you're not gonna like it. Because see, here's something that I learned a lot of Africans don't do. A lot of Africans who are playing these games, you are not, like, you're just trying to get an opportunity. It's a very linear way of thinking. But as Americans and anybody else, we're studying you guys. Like, we're trying to find out, we're trying to make the connection systemically. And once we try to see that for y'all who are down bad here in Africa or scamming, yeah, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna pay for that. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna find a way, and it's gonna be uncomfortable because we will use social media. We will put you out there. We'll put your mama and them out there. Don't even worry about that. We're gonna find a way to make it fair for us. If you want to play dirty, I also say play dirty with them. It's the only way they're gonna learn. These little local ass scammers, these diaspora scammers, play dirty with them. It's the only way.
What can you do about it? You can go and complain. You know, like sometimes there are these offices that are supposed to be set up for the diaspora to help them in situations like this. But whether or not they really work, I don't know. I've never used one because by the time I pay people to get the information to find out who I need to speak to, I'm just like, it's okay, I'm tired. And so I leave it.
And that's what they want. They want you to be tired, have you running around and you give up. No, I got time today. I promise you. Y'all have really invigorated me. Thank you. This one dude, he gonna learn today. I've been on his ass for 4 months. Don't worry about it. No, because I'm gonna make sure you'll never do it again.
These are some of the things that he was really trying to highlight, the frustrations. And I think something that really stood out for me that he said was, if he had known about these things before he had moved to Uganda, he would have stayed in America.
Facts. It's true. If I'm gonna go through the type that I went through, I would have did it in St. Louis or Detroit with my own community. No disrespect to Africa, but there's no way I would do it all over again and start over again in the country of a place I'm not. No, I would have stayed right in Black Philadelphia, Black Sacramento, Black Sacramento. Yes, I would have stayed. If I'm going to do all this, I would have did it for my own community where I could have maybe made a bigger of a difference. Yes, I would have.
I thought that was such a powerful statement because it kind of saddened me to hear him say that, because I feel like the amount of time that I've been in Ghana, he's pretty much been in Uganda. Or he had been going, I think when I moved to Ghana, he had been going back and forth to Uganda. I can't remember if he was there permanently or not. But I feel like he's one of the few that has really tried and stuck it out. So for him to say that was kind of crushing, really, because, you know, if you think about it, he's given people jobs, employment. He believes in fairness in certain things. And for someone to feel this knocked that they had to do this video where he's come to that level of frustration, it's pretty deep, you know. He said that he's struggling to even produce videos because it's almost like he doesn't want to encourage more people to come to Africa anymore because of the things that are happening in the background that people are not talking about. There's no solution to some of these problems. It's like more people are just walking into this trap. We're all just falling into it, one after the other.
And that's the thing about me. Like, I could have been like a husband and wife, a shady team, offering courses, monetizing dusty consultations, things like that. But I understood that most Black Americans would not be ready for the passive aggressive attacks from the private sector that happen here. And then I would be leading you into a burning house. You would have to have a 10-year plan to literally just learn all of this. Like moving here, if you still needed to work or to eat and support your family in a young age, is just a devastating thing. And so I just stopped really promoting it because I didn't want to see somebody become a victim, because I've seen it. I've seen somebody move here that I didn't tell them to move here, and then they were devastated. And I just felt guilty about that.
And that is why it's so important that we talk. That is why it's so important when I do these videos and some of you think that, oh, I'm being negative. Why do you have to be so negative? Can't we talk about the positive things? No, we can't. Because you know what? There's about 100 other channels that will talk about all the positive things. And I'm not saying that Ghana or Africa is not great. It is. But it's important that we address the things that actually need addressing too, and not just the wonderful things. Otherwise, when you move to Ghana or to Africa, you're going to stumble and face these same problems. And the first thing you're going to do is, why did no one tell me? No one said it. No one told me. We're trying to tell you, but when we try to talk, a lot of you shut us down. We get slammed for it. Why do you have to, must you always talk about the negative? It's not the negative, it's highlighting things so that we can solve the problem and so that no one else has these same negative experiences. Because honestly speaking, we do want you to come to Africa and have a good time in the best way possible. But there are challenges. This is a developing place, right? And so it's got issues. So we are trying to highlight some of these issues to you and be as real as possible, but we're being stopped. We can't say everything that we want to say on camera.
And that used to be me. Like, I used to be very cautious of what I said about my experience. I just don't more. Just because I was trying to play it more safe, and now I'm a little bit more risque. But guys, if we're not offering, you don't understand how much money I have missed out on not offering a tour here. It's not like I won't in the future if you really want to come, or but I could have been a lot bigger in the movement just simply by doing business, and getting people over here and charging you $4,000 or $5,000 for something. And with my platform and, with the podcast, we could have gotten that. But I felt like I would have been leading people into a burning house because, you would have enjoyed the tour, but then your everyday life wouldn't have been so great. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't take advantage of my audience. I love Kinganda. I don't even have a Patreon for Kinganda, right? Almost every YouTuber that's in Africa has a Patreon, has a consultation fee, has tours, something like that. We don't have those things, right? And it's because we're just trying to be honest, but people want to be just told the best things and get scammed. So this is what happened. That's how you guys ended up with these other, husband and wife teams and these other people out here doing bad things.
We can't. Even some of the biggest YouTubers can't say what they want to say on camera because of the backlash that comes from it. And you can sit there wherever you are and say, oh, just talk your talk. It's not like that. Especially when you have the African culture in you. You cannot just sit on camera and say whatever you want. It just doesn't work like that. It's so hard to share what it's like to be in the culture if you're not in fully embracing it. Until you've lived here for some time, you won't fully understand what I'm trying to say when I say the culture. But it's very difficult to just be outspoken because Africa is so community-based. So when you do certain things, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody within your community. So you have to be careful, or you have to have tact about what you're saying. So the video that O'Shea did, I'm not surprised it got the comments that it did get. And when I looked at the comment section, a lot of the comment section was from African Americans. A lot of people were telling them, oh, come home. Africa's not meant to be for us. We're FBA, we're this, that, and the other, And O'Shea's response was very much, well, if you guys want to pay for my visa, because I'm not leaving here until at least my visa has run out, I'm not coming back. I don't know O'Shea that well, but I know him, but I don't know him that well. I don't think in my interactions with O'Shea that he will go home. I could be wrong. I don't think he will. I think he is experiencing what a lot of us have experienced who already understand the culture, and he's bringing it on camera and he's showing his levels of frustration. For those of us that are African, we know this because we're all suffering it. There are things that we suffer.
I do love Uganda. I do like what I see walking down the street. It's gonna be real. But yeah, see, a lot of people think that this whole idea that you're talking about what's going on, you're an agent, you're spreading division. These are the things you bring to the forefront to make people cover ground. That's why Dr. Ericana had to go and do a YouTube video and mention me like 6 or 7 times in the video, because now that you wouldn't respond to the people you allegedly scammed, you had to get on the video and address me, which is great. That means that you have to be more mindful of who next time. You'll think twice about trying to go out there and really run these little shady ass deals that allegedly y'all doing out there. All right. But yeah, everything ain't peaches and creams, you know, and they in the culture. Somebody like her and can't say it. It's a lot of Ugandans, a lot of Ugandan British, a lot of Ugandan Americans go through things and can't say it. Real talk. What they gonna do?
For those of us that are African, we know this because we're all suffering it. There are things that we suffer that we just don't speak about. We just grin and bear it and we just move on because we know nothing is going to happen from speaking about it. No one's going to do anything. It's just going to continue. You know, someone once said that if you want there to be change, you almost have to wipe everyone out and start again. No, I'm not supporting that, or let me just put that. I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying what someone said. But I can understand what that theory is, because when it comes to things like corruption and things that are wrong with the system, a lot of it you can't change because it goes so high up. We don't really see it in the West because in the West, we're not big enough to come across those things. We're so small. We're so small in our everyday lives that we don't necessarily see those things. But in Africa, right, the degree of separation is so much smaller that these things affect you in your everyday lives.
This is one of the best points I've ever heard in Black YouTube. You see this every day. Police officers, people in the government, people in the private sector. In America, London, you might not see it straight up and down. It's more behind closed doors, but this is right in the open. Right in the open. They pull your car over. You know, police officers do like this, right? You give me soda money. I want soda. My kids need to go to school. I need soda. Right there in front of you. Don't care about being recorded. Give me. Go to Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos. Listen, they will have a sign right above you. Please promote this person for corruption. That person will look at you, look at the sign, and look right back at you. He don't give a damn about that sign. He'll have your passport and have like $10 in it, like corruption right there. That sign right there. As soon as you get into the airport, they don't care.
It feels some type of way, especially when you're coming from the West and you're hoping to get this experience of Africa and the beauty of Africa and just live a completely different lifestyle, right? It's a shock to your system and you can't quite understand it. And the things that O'Shea is talking about in his video are things that you won't really understand unless you've lived in Africa for a long period of time. And you really need to mature. You need to mature in Africa to be able to see what he's talking about. So if you haven't been here, it's easy to say, oh, just pack up and leave. That doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't actually do anything. And it's like you don't know what the solution is. That's what's frustrating. You don't know what the solution is in order to be able to move forward. You're almost just stuck in it. And no one knows how to change it. So I can sit here and say, oh, these are the problems. But really, what's the way forward? The way forward is to scrap everybody and start again. I don't know. What is the way forward? I don't know. But these are very real frustrations. Ghanaians, they deal with it. Ghanaians that haven't even left the country deal with some of these issues that O'Shea is bringing up. Gatekeeping, very commonplace, very, very common.
I hate this. Gatekeeping and seat holding. Seat protectionism. Yes, passive aggressive gatekeeping. Passive aggressive gate holding. Passive aggressive gatekeeping. Absolutely. And like I said, the things I talked about in my video, it's not just Black Americans suffer from this. Africans suffer from this. As you can see, you have an African agreeing with this. Anybody in Africa understands why they have to go is because of what I'm talking about.
It's a thing. Gatekeeping is a business. Let's just say it as that. Gatekeeping is a business because you want information. I've got the information for you, but I'm not going to give it to you until you pay me first. That's how it is. Or I'm not going to give it to you until you pay me, and then I'll link you to the person that can do this for you. It goes even as deep as people that you would consider your friends. It's in the culture. So that is what they're going to, even though they're your friends, sometimes you still have to pay them in order for them to release the information for you to be able to do whatever you need to do. It's commonplace here. It's how it is. So either you buy into it and you accept it for what it is, or you're going to get extremely frustrating. And I'm not saying it's right, but that is how it is. And then he goes on to talk about the no accountability aspect. I did a whole video on this no accountability thing, and the video was also about, every day forgive. Ghanaians are forever forgiving. We're forever forgiving something with nobody is accountable for anything. Every day is a new day of grace. No matter what you do.
Same thing in Uganda. Oh, you forgive him. You forgive him.
No matter what you do, tomorrow is another day of grace. And that's great. But there still has to be accountability, and that's what he's talking about. You do something that you should be held accountable to your actions. Now, I'm going to have to clear this up because in the previous video I did, people misunderstood what I said. I'm not talking about being violent in any way. That's not what I mean when I talk about accountability. When I talk about accountability, I mean pulling up someone and letting them know that you did this, X, Y, Z, and it is wrong. And maybe there are repercussions, whether that is you got sacked from your job, whatever that repercussion is, there needs to be some type of repercussion. Otherwise, it ends up in this cycle. And again, this is the whole religion thing that comes into Africa, right? Because we have brought so much into religion, we are constantly feeling like we're in this state of forgiveness where everything can be forgiven all the time. And I'm not saying don't forgive, but where's the accountability in that?
This is the same. Uganda is far from Ghana, but god damn. It's like, the thing about the problems in Africa is I don't think Della has ever been to Uganda. But it's so similar. I'm pretty sure the cultures are different, but it's so similar. And guys, like, this is the issue that we have. Like, let me just say this, even with working in the private sector here in Uganda, and this is not a diss, but what I've noticed is in some of the parts of the developing world or in Uganda, people think linear, more or less, than Americans. So Americans tend to view things in the private sector as entrepreneurs more systemically. As a system, and this decision has consequences. This will be a feedback loop for A or B. That's how we kind of analyze it. Most people here that I've encountered, I won't say all, but this does this, so A does this. This is the quickest way for me to get this. It's the whole entire country. And so when a person makes a bad decision, it doesn't matter if it affects you negatively or affects the employee negatively or the customer negatively. It doesn't really matter at all. And there's a repetitive cycle because they could just say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you could even confront the person because, typically, I'll tell you about Ugandans, I'm pretty sure Ghanaians are very similar. They don't like conflict. So it's not like you're going to fight them or beat them up, but you're saying, hey, listen, your decision was, oh, it won't happen again, Papa. Oh, it won't happen again. Like, and then, because they're so used to somebody accepting that in the African world. Oh, it won't happen again. Okay, all right, you're forgiven. They show respect. It's okay. But for us, we see it happening again. And so when we see it happening again, for example, I have an editor in which I had a sound issue on some of my videos. And, we kept going over, won't happen again, won't happen again, won't happen again. So I had to say, listen, today I'm going to fire you. If you do not tell me why we have a sound issue. What's happening again? Okay, it's the last time. Huh? Now, once we got that, then we were able to get to the bottom of it, that he wasn't listening and he needed to treat the sound. So we were able to get them help. And now he is great, right? Because we had to force the conflict. And so once we force the conflict, we can get resolution because he's not used to somebody holding him accountable to, it won't happen again. It won't, in the whole country that I've seen works like that, it won't happen again, but it always happens again because you can't force the change in the behavior. So Black Americans or anybody, you have to force conflict. And then with conflict, you get resolution and they actually get better, right? Customer experience grows, all that grows. So she's 100% right.
It's almost like we know that if we have nothing else, somebody is going to forgive because religion tells you that you have to forgive. So, this too shall be wiped away. And that is, it's a problem for us. It's a problem for us because really we use that as a crutch. We use that to get away with whatever we want to get away with. There is no accountability. People will do whatever they want because tomorrow they'll say sorry to God and God will forgive them. And that is it. And that's how they live their lives. There's nothing outside of that. That's just what they believe and that is it. And so it makes things harder for us because I feel like if that whole religion thing wasn't so strong and embedded into the culture, if you do something bad, you'll feel bad. It's not just, you can't just put it down to, okay, well, it's between me and God. And as long as God has forgiven me, everybody else must forgive me. And then you continue to do whatever you want. Every day you do something wrong and every day you're forgiven. No, you must realize that there are repercussions to what you do. And there is a lot of the time, there is no accountability.
So listen, it's a great video. I don't want to react to all of it. Shout out to Mortadella. Great content creator. I was following her when she first came on. Probably the most insightful person as far as day-to-day stuff in Africa. She's even better than me. I've just now started talking about my stuff, but subscribe, hit the bell. Thank you so much for being fair, right? I know I'm a very direct and blunt person, but subscribe, hit the bell. We out.